Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never-ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing.
Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 388 of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. So I'd love to come on here and just tell everyone that I think things are going to calm down soon because I'm an optimist at heart. But I really think that this is going to be the norm for a little while. It's going to be crazy, especially with an election year coming up in America. So my recent episodes have been about making sense of your own world and keeping your head in the game. Even when it seems overwhelming, we've got to keep our head in our game, right? Because your life doesn't stop just because there's a war or a major crisis somewhere. Or even, I know a lot of the crises are all over the world, but even if there's a crisis right here in America, your life still doesn't stop. That's why it's so important to focus on the things that you do control. I mean, we all want to thrive, and we all can thrive. Even though bad stuff happens, there's a way for us still to be able to be the best that we can be. And we don't control the things happening all over the world, but we do control a whole lot more than we think we do about our own world. So we were recently in Florida with our dear friends, Eddie and Donna. It was such a fun time. They have a 4-year-old adorable grandson who was so excited that they were going to the beach. And he calls Donna, my friend, BB. That's his grandma. So he made BB promise that she would build a sandcastle just for him and send him pictures. So she promised that she would. And this was a big deal to him. So the first day that we spent on the beach, it was a little cloudy and it rained a little bit too. So it wasn't the best day to build a sandcastle in all reality, but we also had kind of forgotten about it. So needless to say, it didn't get built that first day. Well, later that night, we're all on the patio looking at the ocean, having a nice time, and their daughter called on FaceTime with the grandkids. They're such cuties. But a few minutes into the phone call, after talking about being on the beach and how fun it was to be on the beach, well, BB's grandson, whose name is Walker and is so precious, but he's 4 years old, he asked if she had made the sand castle that she had promised she would make. To which she said, no, we didn't. Now, she was giving him all the reasons why we didn't, which in our minds sounded pretty valid. But he was having none of it. He was a little upset. He finally just said, BB, don't say it and not do it. Now, this is from a 4-year-old. So we were rightly admonished, and we assured him that it wouldn't happen again. So the first thing we did the next day was send pictures of this big, beautiful sandcastle. Now, we had a little help, but we decided that was all right. He was happy, and all was well. But there was a big lesson for us, though. We said it many times the rest of the weekend. Don't say it and not do it. It's a lesson for all of us. So we thought about it a lot, but come Sunday morning, it's time for us to come home. But I had told myself I'm going to walk one more time on the beach. So I get up early, and before coffee, I get out on the beach to walk. Now, it turned chilly, and my friend Donna was also already up, and she was having coffee in our nice warm condo. And it's so fun to just sit and have coffee with her. But I had promised myself that I would walk, and not just walk down and turn around. I promised myself that I would walk to the end of where the building stopped at least. It's maybe 1.5 miles, which on the beach is quite a ways. So I found myself saying, oh, it's just so cold. It's our last day, and my friend's up already. It'd be so nice to have coffee one more morning with her. I was justifying a million different ways, just like we were with Walker about the sandcastle, for why I didn't keep my word to myself. And then I remembered little Walker and his admonishment of us. He said, don't say it and not do it, BB. So I picked up my pace. I walked to the edge of the buildings. I turned around, and I still got back in time to have coffee with our friends before we headed out. When we think about keeping our word, we often think about it in the context of keeping our word to someone else. When we tell a friend we'll meet them for lunch, we keep our word. And if we didn't, and we did it a lot, and we just kept not keeping our word to them, it wouldn't be long before they would lose faith in us. But we don't often think of how that applies to our own word to ourselves. I haven't always been good at doing what I tell myself I'm going to do. But through a lot of my self-development over the past few years, I've found that probably one of the best tools I've given to me is being able to trust myself. When I say I'm going to do something, I know I'm going to do it. If I think there's a chance I won't do it, I do not commit to it. So I also noticed that when I'm talking myself out of keeping a commitment, you notice when you're doing it, if you start becoming aware of it, we will justify just about anything. But I've started really noticing when I'm like, my mind is trying to talk me out of keeping a commitment that I'd made to myself, and I shut it down. But the key is not to commit to things that are unsustainable or that you think you may not follow through on. So I don't promise myself I'm going to run 5 miles every single day. I'm not going to do that, and I know it. So I come up with things I know I'll do. It gives me a really good sense of control. Now, I also make it very known that I keep my promises to myself. I am a person that keeps her promises to herself. That's just how it is. That's who I am. That's how I see myself. And that's a pretty powerful thing to be able to say. Now, just remember, it doesn't make me superhuman, because it's not going to make me go out and run 10 miles or never eat sugar or never drink alcohol, because those are not things I would ever commit to. Not right now anyway, because I know I couldn't keep that promise, and it feels really bad. And that is not how I want to feel. It feels bad when you don't keep a promise to yourself, doesn't it? I mean, we beat ourselves up in our heads when we say we're going to do something and then we don't do it. We don't need more reasons in this world right now to feel bad. I mean, I just talked about how it's kind of crazy right now. Don't give yourself more reasons to feel bad. You know, that when you promise yourself you're going to do something and then you don't do it, we beat ourselves up for that. But you control what you commit to, and that includes what you commit to yourself. So how do you see yourself? Can you keep the promises you make to yourself? Do you keep the promises you make to yourself? My challenge to you today is to show yourself you can and you are. It could be as easy as refusing to commit to something you know you're not going to do, and as easy as committing to something you know you will do. Don't say it and not do it, especially to yourself. Share this with 3 people who make commitments. I love you guys. I'll talk to you in a few days.
Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends, because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.